Now brings us into part two of this, and that is to bring in the extraordinary photographer, Tyann Marsink. Tyann, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so Paola, I'm so glad to meet you finally. I've enjoyed our email conversations, and you know what? I really struggled as well. What I should suggest for you, because you do an amazing job with your photos. And I know you mentioned that you did hire a professional, which is always an awesome first choice. And so I wanted to share with you first what I really love about your photographs. So I'm going to hit my screen share here. And let's see, I want this one here. Okay, so the first thing I want to point out is all the detail photos. And just looking at the bedroom where they just detailed right there next to the bed, one side and then the other side as well. I think it just gives the room more personality, the way we can just look at those spots versus the entire room as well. Because you need the big room shot, but zooming in on the details just brings out the personality of the place, and photos are really good with that. Then the other detail photo I loved, of course, was in the shower.
I love that.
It's these little things like this that just really pulling that personality out, and what will set you apart from other places as well. And then this one here, I love the pop of color and the shutters, and you can see architecture, and again, it just everything contributes to that personality of your place. And then, of course, even just something as simple as reminding people, yeah, you do have Wi-Fi, yeah, they can do a little bit of work, even though they probably will not want to. But just the simplicity of it as well. If you look back at these other photos, all of them, they're very simple, they're composed simply, there's not a whole lot going on, it just draws your focus directly to the actual details of the photo. Okay, and then the other thing I love so much was how you incorporated food. And food is another thing that draws people in. So there was this food shot, and then I saw this other one, is probably one of my favorite ones here, is this one.
I know, I love that one.
I know, and just in the way it's composed with the food, on the grill, ready to bake, and then you've got your prep over here on this side, and it's split by the bricks. I love it. Absolutely love it. Then the third thing I just love about your photos is the way you peek into the room. Okay? It's one of those things where you don't always have to have a wide room shot. You can open a door and peek through a door. You can peek through a window. And it just leads people into a room. And your photos do an excellent job of that. And especially having a small area and you're not able to have it's hard to get a ton of photos. By adding in those detail shots and these shots that peek into the room and bring you throughout the space, it really lends to it as well.
That's a good point, Tyann. A lot of times owners say, hey, I can only take so many photos. I only have a 2-bedroom unit or a 1-bedroom cabin, but there's these little personal type of photos that they should definitely be thinking about. I think that's a great point.
Yeah, and this one here, you've got peeking down the stairs into the bedroom as well. And the other thing it does is it also helps to give a person an idea of the space and how small the space is. And that gives a little bit of mystery as well. Like, ooh, what's around the corner there? So it doesn't seem as closed in as what it could be by just looking at, oh, it's only so many square feet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so then my suggestions, they're pretty few, is maybe next time just use a wider angle lens so you can get more of the room when you do your whole room shots.
Will that make the space look a little grander too, a little bigger?
Yes, it'll help make the space a little bit bigger. You don't want to go, fisheye too wide, but here, like this photo, you'd then be able to see the entire bed plus some wall if you just go with a wider angle lens. And that'll help you feel out the entire room as well. And looking back, same as the living room area as well, a wider angle lens would give us from the window here all the way back to the door behind the couch, so that opens the space up a little bit more when they're looking at it.
He agrees.
Okay, then this is just a tiny tweak, and this is something, I know you got professional photos, so you don't want to mess with their professional photos. Just go back to your photographer and ask them if they want to make these tweaks. But you said you're working on photos for your blog and learning yourself. So just something to be aware is sometimes you have to do a little bit of color correction. And this you can do in an editing program like Photoshop or Lightroom. Those are two of them that I use. And just to show you a difference, what happens is this photo I pulled into Photoshop and just adjusted the levels slightly. And you can see how we can warm it up a little bit. And I don't know why let me see if I can zoom out here. Hold on. There we go. Okay, so you can see the white flowers are now white, and you've got sunshine on.
Why don't you go back and forth real quick so they can get that full effect again.
Let me zoom out. Okay, here we go. So here's the original, and here's the color corrected.
Oh, yeah.
Pops more.
Yep. The red pops more, your flowers are white, and you've got sunshine and brightness.
Yeah.
Looks a lot better.
It's those little details that throughout the whole presentation that make a real big difference. In this one photo, it might seem small, but when you pay attention to all the details, that's when these presentations, I think, really stand out.
Yeah, it's something very, very small that you don't think about, and like you said, once you add it to everything you're doing, it makes a difference. This photo here, it's one of my favorite photos that you have, besides the shower photo. But this photo here, it has a little bit of color balance off because of the material. There's some reflections in there. So I color corrected it, and I don't know why it does that. Let's get back down here. Okay, so we'll look at the color correction.
Yeah.
See the difference there, how it's brighter, and the hands aren't purple anymore.
Clearer looking.
Right. It's not as cold, it's warmed up. Yeah.
Right.
So slight differences like that will really make the photos pop more.
And the photos, the quality of the photos really, when they're wrapped within a website, it makes a huge, huge difference. And I'll get into that with you on the next one, but it does relate to this.
Yep. And then there's one other. Can you guys see this file that I just pulled up? File folder?
Not yet, no.
No? Okay, let me change my screen share then, because I think I said just to show that one. Let's see, we're going to stop. Okay. Entire screen. Okay, so then one other correction we can do in Photoshop that I'm going to show you that seems insignificant, but once you see it, you'll see the difference here. Okay, so we've got the little detail photo of the bedroom, and what we're going to do is we're going to fix our levels, but you're going to see a difference in contrast at this point. So all we have to do on this one is we have to press Auto, and I'm going to turn this off and on so you can see what happens. Especially if you look at the vase.
Yeah, there's a reflection.
And if you see there, you can see more contrast between the vase and the wall and in the flowers.
Wow.
And something small like that just gives it more pop. Yeah.
Very cool.
So that's what I have.
Awesome.
Let me turn my screen share off. All right, did you have any questions?
Well, first, thank you. It's it's difficult to take good pictures. So I will I will surely continue as I update the website to rely on professional photographers because I do appreciate the skill set and the great difference that they make. Um, and so I mean, just educated me also to see better things that I don't see right now. Like, for example, I can see the difference because you just showed me. Before I thought it was a very good picture, but now I see the difference. I appreciate, so thank you. The tool you recommend to use for an amateur or photographer, and I cannot even call myself amateur photographer, but someone who tried to do better with the picture, is what among the two? What is easiest?
It's Photoshop. It has definite learning curve. I mean, I took a couple semesters at the local college to get the basics down. You can take courses online. There's YouTube videos. Lightroom, there's also a learning curve, but it's easier to learn. There is a consumer version of Photoshop called Photoshop Elements, and you can do those changes with the levels, with curves and contrast, brightness, and all of that as well in that program. So that's something inexpensive, and in dollars, it's usually around $60. So I don't know how much it is over there. And it's something, it will take time. It really does. So it might be a point too where you can also take the photos that you take and give them to your professional photographer and say, hey, will you edit these for me? I want them, they need a little more pop in them or a little more color in them, and you can send the files. There's actually whole companies set up just to process photos for people so that people can, focus on taking the photo and not have to worry about processing the photo.
All right. Okay, great. And here's the real question that I meant to ask you. So if you use a wide angle, will the room look bigger? Because I don't want necessarily to show a bigger room than what it is, because I want to be very frank and ensure that the guests enter a place that really looks like the picture. So I don't want it to show like a...
That's a good point.
Yeah. What it is not.
Excellent question. Excellent question. Let me pull up here. I'm going to find a photo to show you of a good before and after that I did recently.
I actually have an owner with a property in Rome, Italy, very small apartments there, and she sometimes gets complaints because the pictures look bigger than the place is, and when they arrive, they have an issue. Is that what you're concerned with, Paola?
Absolutely. I don't want that. I don't want.
I think there's a way to get it to show all the space without looking like too stretched.
Mm-hmm. Here, let me show you what I did here. I'm going to screen share it. And okay, so here's a bedroom in a little one-bedroom apartment in Colorado that I did. This is her shot of the bedroom. And you can see here, it's a pretty good size bed. I think it was a queen size. And then down here is my shot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you can see the room size is definitely bigger than what she shows here, but it doesn't look overwhelmingly larger.
No, it still looks like a small room, but it's just so, yeah, that's a great shot.
Great job, Diane.